Good morning, everybody, and a very, very warm welcome to Ask the Accountant, episode number 166. The date is the 5th of January, 2026. I'm one of your hosts, Aaron Patrick, and joining me, as always, is the one and only Johann. We're going to do the what did you do in your week after this bit, because we've got the actual starting section to talk about now, which is as follows. Hello, welcome to Ask the Accountant, part of the Ask the Accountant Network, a podcast network for accountants, bookkeepers, supported by our Patreon community. And a shout out to our coolest of cool listeners who are, and we've decided to do a little, every time that you're here and you get to be mentioned on this, we're gonna play a little thing for your first time. So let's go with applause, or are we saying gong? What are we saying, Johan?
Applause.
Okay. Right. Quiet in the room, everyone. Here are our names. We have Aaron Patrick, the QuickBooks chap, paid for. Paul Whitehouse, thank you so much for your support. Kirsty St. John. And Mahul. Thank you very much for being one of our cool listeners. If you want to get your name on that list, then you need to head over to our Patreon, and the links are all around, etc., etc. We're going to actually change the order of the show, Jan, and we really should talk about what you get for your membership as our first conversation topic. So listen out for that one, and then you can join in, then get all that other bonus content, as you can see from there. Jan, how has your weekend been? It's been a bit of a crazy one, right?
Cold.
If
I'm honest.
Is that it? That one word?
Cold outside. We've not had any snow in Edinburgh. It's been lovely. I think everywhere else has had snow. I think there's literally this hub of Edinburgh that's not had snow. But yeah, no, it's I'm not going to lie, ready to get back to it today. I've dabbled. I've done a few bits and pieces. I've been working on Engager stuff for the last week or so, but I'm looking forward to getting back, sat at the desk, focused, being able to get stuff done because people are in work. So yeah, no, I'm pleased to be getting back to normality after 2 weeks of just not being sure what day it is and stuff like that. I really don't like the Christmas to New Year part. But yeah, I mean, how was your week?
Yeah, I mean, it was the new year, wasn't it? So we had all of that. I saw from your thing, you made the most of it. Was it what was food? What was the food option you had there?
Oh, so in Scotland, the New Year meal is a steak pie.
Ooh.
So yeah, no roast dinners on New Year's Day in Scotland. It's a steak pie.
Is that homogamy? Is that right? Is it my bunch of the name?
Hogmanay.
Hogmanay, that's the one. Yeah.
4 days in which you don't go into Edinburgh because
is that what it is? Stay away.
It's a 4-day celebration. So on the 30th, there's a procession of 15,000 people going through the streets of Edinburgh with lit torches, like fire torches, like Vikings. And then there's parties and things organised until the day after New Year. Although what I do now know is when I look out of my window from my office, if I look between two specific trees, that's Edinburgh Castle. Miles away, but it's Edinburgh Castle. I can tell. I got to sit and watch 6 minutes worth of fireworks on New Year's Eve, which was rather impressive. So
love that.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, for me, it was, what did we do? We went to some friend's house for the actual New Year's itself, played Jackbox. If anyone's ever played Jackbox, that's where you basically, you have on-screen games, and then you get to interact with your phone. So it's things like building or like T-shirts, you had to design them and put wacky things on, stuff like that. It's very, very good. Very good. And then I actually went to London for pleasure for the first time in, God, it must be a year since I've last actually gone there without, and I could tell it was for pleasure because the stuff I took, so you normally see me with those massive, great big bags, and I actually had that trolley with me for ICB. I had just one bag, one measly backpack. That's all I needed. My hands were free. I was wandering around the streets of London, and I could, pick things up and look at things and interact with the world. It was magical, if I'm honest with you. It was, what do you call it? And then from a food, because we went to see a show, so Inside Number 9. If you've heard of it on TV, we went to see their stage production, but also we got the opportunity to do some go and get some quality food. So had probably the best chicken burger in London, I would say, called Dave's Hot Chicken. I would say highly recommend that one. We had by far the best breakfast in London, without a doubt. That's what we're going to say here. Dishoom breakfast. If you haven't been to Dishoom breakfast, please, it's a Ask the Accountant recommendation, gold stamp. I think I've got my tier list for burgers.
Oh God, not again.
I think number 2 has we've changed the order. I think we've had to upgrade one of them. It was mid-table obscurity for a while, but I went to what's called Honest Burgers. And I think that's my now number 2, but has to be a particular type of Honest Burger. So you can choose what type of burger you want. That's absolutely fine. Make sure you get the chips. That's a must. But you have to have the Honest Gravy. The Honest Gravy elevates it from a mid-table obscurity to number 2. The second best.
Such a Midlander. Put gravy on something and that's it. It's phenomenal.
And pro tip out there, the gravy isn't there just to put your chips in. Obviously it's nice to have your chips and everything else, but dip the whole burger in there and take a bite. I'm telling you, number 2 in the world. And join us on our Patreon bonus show for the full list one day. All right, we won't be anywhere without our amazing community. So let's say hello to number. I cheated there. I'm sorry. We'll come back to you there. 8:30 was Cheryl. Cheryl came back. She's back. Obviously, she's back from a well-rested break. So nice to see you back here. And as always, nailed that number 1 8:30 spot. So good morning, happy New Year to everyone from snowy South. So good. Happy New Year to you too, Cheryl. Okay, so John, one of our amazing Patreon cool listeners, says a snowy good morning everyone and a happy new year. Mahu, one of our other cool listeners, said good morning and happy new year everyone from sunny and chilled London. Stephanie Marshall says good morning all, happy new year to you too. And our number 1 cool listener at this point in time. So how the cool listener is going to work is whoever gets him first will maintain that number 1 position. And then if they drop off, then whoever comes in, we're going to have that sort of order system going. So Paul Whitehouse, good morning to you, sir. Lisa Mulholland. Lisa Mulholland. Have I butchered your name? Do tell me if I have. I do apologise. But you're an ICB PM. Good morning, Sophia. Thank you. I believe a newer listener, or at least newer to live. So welcome aboard. Sue Green, happy new year all. Happy new year to you too still. So Paul Ingram says good morning from snowy South Wiltshire. Good morning to you too, Paul. Nicola says good morning, with a cob, no doubt. She's probably having a cob at this point in time, is Nicola. So welcome on board. Susanna Susie Bookkeeping says good morning from a crispy sunny morning in Hanley. Susanna Whelan, one of our actual network for the MTD series, says good morning to you too. Stephanie Marshall says no snow in my part in Kent. Well, I can tell you we have snow here in good old Hilton, Derbyshire. But yes, it's not that nice snow though. It's that that thin, just not worth it snow. It just makes everything slippy. That's all it is. Snow here this morning.
More of a hassle than it's worth.
Exactly. It's Paul down in Portsmouth says snow here this morning. Lisa says it's a white out here in Elgin. Elgin. Where are we saying Elgin is? And I love in the little. Oh, it's Scotland. Oh, okay, all right.
Oh, Elgin, Scotland.
Well, you've said it now. Mate, if we need correction,
that new sound effect for correction corner ready.
Yeah, let us know if we need correction corner, Lisa. But Elgin, and I'm loving the snowman little emoji there.
Yeah, Scotland.
love an honest burger. So it's Scotland. We're okay. No correction code
Yeah.
needed. Suzanne says, I love an honest burger. Do you know you can buy that? You can buy the great. Wait, tell me, right? I once walked out there with 4 tubs of stuff, amazingly good. It made it, right? Like, honestly, gold star recommendation on the Ask the Accountant Network is for the gravy from Honest Burger. It elevates it to another level. Absolutely wonderful stuff. Right. I'm just going to hijack the start of the show because we have some show notes ready to go through. But we have launched the Ask the Accountant podcast network membership options. You have 2 options available. You have the cool listener, which is why we had those amazing people shouted out at the very beginning. And then we have a tier below as well. I'm just going to go for the cool listener one so you can decide which one you want from yourself. But what's included in your membership? You get general support. So we're going to have a community there to talk things, all things accountancy based and practice based, and go through from there. We got our member shout out. That's why you heard those wonderful names at the top, because they are our cool listeners. What they're going to get access to is not only a shout out on the show, but an exclusive not top trump card that's only available to those, and they actually graded as well. So you get your first one, and then you get a silver one and a gold one. It all looks very, very snazzy. They get exclusive voting powers on the not top trumps cards going forward. So we're actually going to redistribute points for certain people and stuff. So if you're one of the people with a card and you feel like, I'm not 100% happy with this, and you need to start canoodling and smooching with the cool listeners we have, because they now hold the power to make changes on the cards going forward. And we have early access to elements as well. So we've already put up what's in my bag, so the a video based on purely on the gear and tech that I walk around with me, and Johann has committed to make sure that his will be on there soon as well, so we're looking forward to that. And then you get those access from there. So, but this is just the start, right? We finally launched it. It's taken us long enough to get it out there, but it's finally out there. But we need your feedback. So let us know what else we could do, what you're looking for, anything like that. Give us some feedback. And what's your favorite part about the membership so far? Because you are now a member, aren't you? It's you have member status. What's your favorite part so far?
I enjoyed your everyday carry video, and the fact that comes with early access. That's great. I like the chat boards in there and the sharing photos from events in there as well. I think it's another way to enhance the community outside of these weekly live shows, which is fantastic.
Yeah, and there's the bonus show as well, which we completely forgot to talk about. The first bonus show is available now for everyone to see, and that was us ranking the swag of 2025 and before. So yeah, if you get a chance to go and watch that on the YouTube channel, please do. All right, who else we got? Just walked through the door. Catherine's here, says, morning, it's Brassic, but we are off for a walk this morning. Oh, happy new year to you too, Catherine. Yeah, we wanted to take the puppy out for a walk, but she wasn't keen on the idea for some reason. So yeah, that might be later in the day when the sun's coming out. Lisa says north coast of Scotland. So yeah, no correction corner needed.
I've got some fact checking for you here.
Go for it.
Most people in England think Hadrian's Wall, Edinburgh, Glasgow, that's north.
Yeah.
So Lisa is 122 miles further north than me. That's 3.5 hour drive to get there. Like Lisa's whiteout will last until April. Like that's it now. Trapped.
Send an SOS, Lisa, if you need some help.
It's north.
North, exactly. You're north of the wall. A Game of Thrones reference. Susanna says, I'm going to have to upgrade. Well, there we are. We've done our job. All right, everyone. And again, please do give us the feedback, what you want to see, what you don't want to see, all that sort of stuff. Go for that. We have our Instagram community out there as well. We've got Beetle and Blue, Megan, Michelle, Rosie, XXXM, and Phoenix Consultancy. Beetle Blue, I know you've put a question there, but we'll bring that in at the end if that's all right, where we start our show proper. Right then, let's start our show with a look ahead of 2026. So people who don't know, we've just had a new year. So we're going to look ahead of 2026, see what we're excited for, see what gets us excited and what we're looking forward to. And we're going to start off with, clearly, because it's me and Johan, and we get to run the show here, the technology that gets us excited. So, Johan, you go first on this one. What technology are you excited for in 2026? Because little CES at the moment, isn't there, to get us all excited?
Yeah, so there's lots of rumors abound about different, like the iPhone Fold coming out and stuff. I'm not 100% sold on the concept yet. I mean, I'll probably have one just so I can try to change my life, but I don't know. I'm not. What I'm hearing about it at the moment isn't quite. I don't know how practical it's going to be on a day-to-day usage thing for us.
Yeah.
I think the M5 MacBook Pro, when that comes out, it sounds like that's going to have a built-in SIM tray or eSIM facility, so you'll have internet wherever you go, which will just be phenomenal. But yeah, I mean, from the smaller tech parts of the world, like this week, as you say, it's CES, which is a huge electronics conference exhibiting thing over in the US that happens at the start of every January. That's the one where we start seeing some cool things. So like that's where I discovered Claude AI for my note taking and stuff. So yeah, it's events like that where the newcomers kind of exhibit and stuff. Like, you know, I was chatting over the weekend about the new Clicks phone that got announced and whether we see a benefit in it. Like, it's kind of going back to BlackBerry style, which is quite cool. So yeah, the bit I'm excited for is the new technology, the new thing that none of us could sit here and predict today. Like 5 years ago, if you sat and said, "Oh, the new technology I'm looking forward to is ChatGPT," we'd all be liars because none of us knew what ChatGPT was.
Yeah,
we didn't expect it, etc. I mean, who knows what's going to be announced in the 12 months ahead? It's it's an exciting time in the tech world. So yeah, just I think new announcements, new better for us, whether it's work life, whatever it is. So that's what I'm excited for tech-wise, is more of the general direction and the revealing of new bits of hardware. How about yourself?
Well, I am excited for the iPhone Fold. I think that's going to be something that if they can pull it off and they can make it so that it is this idea that you can't see the line between it. If they can pull that off, then I'm very, very interested in it. My only concern about this whole idea of the Fold is, from what we've seen from like the rumors and everything, is it feels like it's going to be a step back, or at least there's going to be elements to it where it's not quite at the flagship level that we're used to, right?
Yeah.
And it's almost like, if you already got a flagship, are you going to have a worse battery life, or maybe worse cameras, or something, right? You're going to have to compromise to have that foldable nature, because you've got one as well, right? So we've got these Android Fold devices now, and they're great. And the use case for me are those. You what? Sorry,
I just never unfold it.
Seriously,
I don't use it enough to unfold it. That's the problem, I think. And even unfolded, it's not big enough to be a tablet. So, yeah, I'm still not convinced on the place of the foldable. I think that's my issue. Where does that sit in my ecosystem of technology and hardware?
But then that trifold from Samsung, so the idea here where it folds 3 times out, that from a, like you said, when it's actually folded out, you can see the benefit there. And they've even got a functionality called Dext on it, where it is, basically a full operating system, and you can kind of move it around. So that bit excites me in terms of where that's going, because I see, for me, the Fold is when I'm out and about, when I'm there, on a train or on the tube or something like that, as long as I've got internet. If a Teams message comes in and they want me to look at something, right, just having that extra bit of real estate there to review something or look at something does psychologically does make it like I'm doing it properly almost. Do you know what I mean? Like, if I just had on one phone, I always feel like I'm compromised. I feel like I'm like can I see everything? Have I got everything there? But having that one device that can be in your pocket and you can just open up and off to the races, I do see the benefit for. So I'm going to be quietly optimistic about the idea of it. As you said, the MacBook is what my eye is on more than anything else. Apparently, though, we have to wait until not the M5 but the M6 refresh, which is frustrating. It could be like a 2027, early 2027 that it's actually going to go out. But I do like the idea of that opportunity, right, of waiting until that comes out and seeing there that the new version, the new layout and everything else. But yeah, second that we have the opportunity to have a cellular option of a MacBook, I'm fully on board with. Like, that is like the dream for me, right? Where I don't have to worry about Wi-Fi connections, I don't have to worry about that, and it'll be there just to keep work going. So that gets me really excited. But what does get me excited, though, kind of looking ahead, is and we'll talk about it when we come to our firms in 2026. But now I've got the new practice, and I'm kind of looking at like how I'm going to upgrade that practice and what changes I can make and everything else. So yes, it's coming at the right time for that, because little things like how are we going to do conference calls, how are we going to like wow the clients, and what technology we're going to use, and even things like the networking, right? So for me, I've acquired a practice where the networking doesn't quite fit the needs that we want. It's quite basic and it doesn't quite do what it, and it is restrictive, right? And it is like managed by another company. There's all these complications around it. But there's a solution out there called Ubiquity. So if anyone's looking to upgrade their network, definitely look at Ubiquity, and it's called Unify. And they've got this functionality where it's really easy to mesh up. So you can have multiple nodes around the offices and all this kind of, because we've got multiple floors and stuff like that. So we're trying to figure out how do we make that useful. And my favorite feature as well is they now released a little dongle device, very similar to that little Slate GI that I have, where I can kind of create a network out and about when I'm out and about. So it's that same technology, but it has a 5G SIM card tray built directly in. But the cool thing about this is you don't just go to location A, location B, location C, and just create a new network. You actually start piggybacking directly on the network back in the office. So it is basically you're taking your network with you. And from a client point of view, I'm thinking of that as like, right, so if we start going down the EPOS routes and we start looking at stuff like that, they could then, if they're doing a pop-up, for example, they could take this little device with them, be wherever they are, and then all their devices, all their EPOS solutions are connected still, and they're still on the same network as it was before. So things like printing and updates and all that sort of stuff can still be done, and that's the sort of stuff for me that I'm really, really excited for. That and we spoke about it before. I'm really excited what Insta360 are going to bring to the table with their going down the conference call routes and all that sort of stuff. Like, I feel like they've just dipped their toe into it and they're figuring it out from there. So it'll be exciting to see what comes from there. So yeah, I think this is going to be a really exciting year. And I know you kind of said that ChatGPT, no one could have guessed it 5 years ago, but also we have no idea what their hardware is going to be, right? Like, we don't know what that's going to be. Is it too soon for them this year? I don't know. Could they tease it maybe this year? Is it a teasing for 2026 with a release in 2027? We'll have to figure out and kind of go through from there. But that's what I'm excited. I'm excited for what ChatGPT's hardware division is going to bring to the table, because I feel like they've got an opportunity to bring together all this sort of stuff that we're looking at. So Claude is something that you highly recommend and look into, but I can see them going down a similar sort of route, right? The Insta360 solution that I've just bought, I think that's something that they'll probably look at trying to find a way to mothball in as well. And I think that's only going to be a good thing, because I'm now in that situation where I've bought this new Insta360 conferencing solution. Absolutely love it. It's great. I can stick it in the middle of the room, because we now have a conference boardroom that we're trying to figure out how to, capture that data in and capture those conversations from. So a nice little device goes in from there. But I've got to have another subscription for another solution, for another service, another software. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's the bit that it for me is really like tricky in terms of trying to make it so it's adaptable for everyone to use, because then you've got to teach them how to use it. You've got to train them. You've got to keep that subscription going. You've got to install it on Ultimate Ones. If it was all in one solution, like ChatGPT is one service, that's where I think the benefits come from. So yeah, I think it is really exciting, isn't it? And there's kind of opportunities there for us to look into. I mean, do you feel like we're too soon for ChatGPT's hardware announcement? Do you think it's too soon?
I think we are. I think we'll be seeing it at the latter end of this year, ready for release in 27. Yeah, I think it's too soon, and it's new to them, isn't it? They're going to have to do a lot of refinement and building and testing, so I think they're going to need a lot of time.
Yeah. Paul says he's been planning his event calendar. Keep that in mind, because that's one of our topics we're going to cover later in the show. I don't know what that was about. Oh, actually, I've just remembered. AIM, I completely forgot to go back to you at the 8:29. Sorry, AIM. But yeah, 8:29. You were so close on going to. But AIM says good morning to you too, sir. Paul Whitehouse says watching this on the Z6 open screen. See, there is a use case for it. It's to consume our content. Folds. My son loves his Pixel 9 Pro Fold. Can't see the join and can use the big bit split, so it has two screens. Interesting. So you can't see on the new Fold. See, I had a Google Fold for a while, and I don't know, I just feel like Google, they're saying it's their operating system. They didn't quite understand the the need of the Fold or what the Fold could do, and it just didn't quite work. So yeah, I'm very much gone down the Samsung route for my Fold at this point in time. Right, so that's a look at the hardware. What about software sort of thing? What software release for are you excited for 2026? Johann, go first.
Where do we start on this? So, knowing what's on the roadmap for Engager and TaxCalc is very exciting, but I can't talk about any of that. But I'm excited to see the overall message from the Fusion event in November was about the efficiency that can come from fusing these two softwares together. And yeah, I think we're going to start seeing that very soon this year. There's lots of great plans, lots of great things being worked on. So I'm excited to see that. I'm excited to see where Fixer AI goes. So I did it a bit of a disservice last week. I didn't mention it as my favorite, one of my favorite softwares, but it definitely deserved an honorable mention. So I started using Fixer AI on the 24th of October. In that time, it is filtered, sorted, and organized over 12,000 emails. So in 2 months of use, it's dealt with 12,000 odd emails. It's drafted over 500 emails for me. The drafts are incredible. What I would like to see them do is start having like Zapier integrations so that my Claude notes can go into it, because the Fixer AI's meeting recording is great, but it doesn't suit all circumstances. So there's some workarounds and stuff. I don't like anything that's a workaround. I like to just get on with things. But there's speculation they're going into diary management and calendar management in a deeper way, and that would be quite cool. Like that's the one thing I've yet to find a solution for. Like I've tried things like Motion, and Motion's overkill for me. I don't need that, but I need something. So yeah, just see what Fixer AI's got installed for us in the next year is going to be interesting. Yeah, what else? I think we'll see what Xero, QuickBooks, and Co. bring to the table. But I don't think there's anything out there that overly excites me from any of them. But yeah, what I'm hoping for, not necessarily excited for, but hoping for, is that these software companies stop using AI as a marketing gimmick and actually deliver tangible value and tangible benefits of AI in our tools, rather than going, oh, we've got AI and it's actually skin deep and just a marketing gimmick. Like, I want true tangible benefits out of using the latest technology out there.
Yeah.
So yeah, but yeah, what about yours? What's your software you're excited for?
I think this is a big year in terms of, for me, practice just overall trying to make it more efficient, right? Like efficiency is going to be the key for 2026 for me. So I'm on the lookout for potentially a new ticketing system. I'm a HubSpot power user. I love HubSpot, but the pricing just gets beyond ridiculous for some of the features you need. It's awkward as well because the jump in the price points and from the users and everything else, it's just so extreme. And I can't understand why. And some of those features are obviously gatekeeped in your higher tier, and you're like, that feature is really, really important to me, but I can't justify the cost. I can't justify the price increase. So, I've been looking at other ones like Odoo, for example, which I think is a solution I think we've all got to keep an eye on. Like they're saying the right things, they're doing the right kind of attitude with it all. And I think if they nail that idea of what they're offering, I think there's definitely a thought process down there of that being something to keep an eye on, especially from a client's point of view. A ticketing system or a CRM system or something from a client's point of view, there's a really good price point and an entry level there for them. And their accounting system seems okay. It doesn't quite hit the heights of QuickBooks, Zero, etc. But it seems like a good starting point. So I'm definitely really interested in looking at that. Someone who took my eye was the IQ Suite, who are they've got Reconcile IQ, Code IQ, and Ledger IQ. So that's definitely something I want to be putting more test into, see how I can kind of see if it will work and everything else. But I think the idea of someone like that, so that their whole premise is coming along, and you can connect any FMS solution to it, and it will start doing simple bookkeeping for you to kind of keep on top of and all like that. But it's clever enough to kind of look back at historical data and look at your chart of accounts and try and clean things up and put things into the right place for you. So, if we can nail them sort of efficiencies, that just frees up your team's time, right? Like, I don't ever see AI come along and we've said this loads of times, but replacing team members. But if we can get out of the way of doing their, mundane day-to-day job and free up them so they can actually add value to clients, I'm well up for that, right? And if it's just the case that, there's something in the background ticking over and doing that basic bookkeeping. And the way I always describe it when I'm like teaching QuickBooks or anyone like bookkeeping, it's getting rid of the noise, right? Like 95% of your business transactions for a lot of the smaller clients, it's just pure noise, isn't it? It's just same subscription they've had for the last 11 months, and it's like, well, let's put this here, let's do this there. Let's get that out of the way so that when your team member jumps in and they got to look at like doing the bookkeeping, they can focus on those real complicated and complex transactions, right? That might need splitting or might need matching or need some form of human intelligence to come along and actually do something right with it and get it right first time. Danger if they go in and they've got 50 transactions is they don't notice that one important one, right? Or two important ones, right? They'll be in autopilot mode and go, no, I've seen it so many times with my team where they've just like been in autopilot mode and posted transaction X and not really thought about it, not really given it its attention needed. Whereas if we give them back that time and they're going in and that's just what they've got to focus on, all these more complicated ones, I'm really excited about trying to, kind of work with the team to kind of build that there. I'm also really excited this year, and it's something we want to do in the Ask the Accountant brand. We're trying to build some working papers that not only is, audit friendly, because we've got now #audit Amy on the team, but is like works with our current solutions, right? I've already kind of put the framework together and started kind of building it, and that's what I was doing over the break. And it's like, well, if we do our work papers in this FMS solution, why don't we grab that data, dump it into our working papers, and it gives us a score system, right? A traffic light system, green, yellow, red. Like, do we even need to go back to this one? Have we got already figured out everything from that? And I'm trying to build a working papers that is just more, easier to kind of just take it from a review point of view. How easy is it for us to review as the reviewers, right? Like, what tools can we give them with the fact that we've got ChatGPT and all that elements there? Can we use that? Can we draw from there? So, hopefully we can get that kind of off the ground and kind of figure it out. But would love to kind of create some sort of Ask the Accountant inspired working papers that we can kind of put the training out there and get that out there. So that's where I'm seeing the software from a purely practice driven point of view. I'm seeing it at that PM level, that element. I mean, we've already got the practice management side nailed, but what else can we add to it to really help it kind of, take it to the next level, sort of thing? And I feel like this is the year where it's all about trying to find those efficiencies for your team to try and streamline it, to give them back capacity so they can either take on more clients or, do better with the clients we've got, right? Like that's where my whole premise is going to be this year on that one. What are the teams saying or the community saying? It says, I've been looking into ticketing and messaging platforms like HubSpot, Client Windows. It's perhaps a topic for a Patreon chat. 100%. And I think that's the problem is it's not something we can have on the main channel because there's so many nuances around it, isn't there? Like, a ticketing system to me is absolutely crucial for how I run my practice, right? Like I couldn't run the practice without it. But I also can't just jump and change and move around ticketing systems. I've got to go through the pain of trying to find all the ones there and try and find the right way.
To do the due diligence on it.
Yeah, and I think we've in the past we were able to be a lot more agile with this, weren't we? Like me and you would find a new solution, something shiny, and we'll implement it the next day and job done. Like that's it.
Yeah.
But now we've got much bigger teams, much bigger client bases. For me especially, I've got regulatorial issues, blah 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 blah. Holding me back. So we have to have a much more prescribed way of going. Right, this is the solution I want. Here's a thought map of what the solutions are. And we're actually project managing, bringing in a new ticketing system, right? Which 2, 3, 4, whatever years ago would have been obscene, right? We'd have just gone, well, just pay for it, put it in, and if it don't work, we'll strip it out again, sort of mentality, wasn't it? Right now we're having to like properly go through all these, like you said, due diligence of it all. And I just feel like that's where I'm really excited for this year, 2026, in terms of I feel like there's enough out there, and I've heard of a new system for kind of ticketing that aimed at accountants. So I'm really excited to see how they progress and how they go through. And I think WhatsApp and communication like that is going to be crucial going forward, right? That's what clients' expectations are. Yeah. So trying to build them all into one place. And what we don't want is, what you don't want your team to have is all these different windows they've got to manage, right? They want to be in one or two different places, and then they can do everything from there. So have you thought anything more about kind of how I suppose from your point of view, it's you've got the privilege of kind of going, right, well, I can make it all work in Engager, right? Because you've got the opportunity to kind of help steer where it's going to go left and right and everything else. But are you still confident that it's purely just going to be Engager driven for you?
Yeah, it will still remain Engager driven, especially with the sales Kanban board and stuff that we've got coming up this year. So we'll be able to take our sales from inquiry right through to engagement and delivering the services. So that deals with a huge headache in my firm of missed out revenue opportunities. Ticketing, we already do in Engager. Like I know it's not to the level that you're looking at and complexity that you're looking for, but all of our clients are told to email support at, because that way, if a team member's off ill unexpectedly or on holiday and your client's forgotten or something, they're not missed whilst we're waiting for that person to respond. So our clients are very much aware that even if you just CC support in, that will guarantee you a response that day. So that all goes to one central mailbox. We then create those into tickets in Engager or tasks in Engager, and we deal with it from there. We use Client Window. We've had Client Window on our web in our firm for the last year now. We've actually got WhatsAppers buttons on our website. So we don't have a customer form. We don't have a chat bot or anything. We've just got, WhatsAppers. And we've done very well financially out of that. Like we've picked up a lot of work out of that because people are like, oh, these guys are out, they're ahead of the game with WhatsApp. So that's done us the world of favors. Yeah, just wait and see what we've got this year, because it's a constantly moving thing. So yeah, it's going to be a good year, put it that way.
Yeah, but I think consolidation's got to be the key this year, right? App fatigue has been such a such a we're almost bored of hearing it now, right? But it is so true, isn't it? We don't want to have multiple places to try and go to deliver client work, right? We want to have that, either one centralized hub or at least more, couple of centralized hubs that we can maintain and keep on top of.
But if you look at America, like their practice management tools over in America at the moment are starting to do things like month-end work. Like, not only does the practice management tool tell you to do this task, it helps you achieve it by pulling in the data from the ledger softwares and stuff. So, yeah, it's there's some interesting things happening in America that I'm keeping an eye on.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's when having good solutions like Xenon is so crucial, isn't it? Because that's where they can help kind of achieve that for you and kind of bring that information in. So, yeah, I'm hopeful that 2026 is going to be one where we can find ways to do it. And I get client window, and I think that's a really nice tool and everything else. But I don't know. I don't want to prescribe to another dashboard, another element that we've got to keep on top of. I know it's worked for you guys, but for me, has to come into one of my other central databases. It has to be there for me to kind of have that confidence on it going forward. Just so we've kind of seen what everyone else said. Jenny says, I've always had Samsung thinking about switching to Apple soon. I love that. And who's the top and bottom? Well, our names are just here, sir. Aaron Patrick and Johann Gory. There we are. Okay, cool. Let's do events then. So I've quickly got a little look ahead of what events we've got. So this is helping Paul make sure he's got his right events going forward. Alternate accounting and show and all that lot is the 2nd to the 4th of March. That's kind of where theirs is going to be. Then we've got Fab. But remember, it's now not the Festival of Accounting and Bookkeeping, it's the Finance Accounting Bookkeeping Show. Is in NEC Birmingham on the 11th to the 12th of March, so a 2-day event. 2020 is going to be in Birmingham on the 23rd of April. Accountex London is 13th to the 14th of May in Excel London, going back to there. But they've also got that extra section this year, haven't they, which we'll talk about more when we get to it close to the thing. But they've actually got a more kind of finance accounting element of it as well, which sounds awesome. Then it's Xerocon in London Olympia on the 8th to 9th of July. That's that been officially said there? Oh, okay. In Olympia now. That's a different place to have it, isn't it? In fact, I'm really, really grateful that they're trying something new and going somewhere new. So that's nice. Manchester Central in the 15th of September for Accountex Manchester. Digital Accounting Show on their new location in Excel London, 7th to 8th of October. And then you got like your ICAW annual conferences on the 16th. And 2020's annual conference as well to be announced. And then, of course, November is the ICB Summit and Luca Awards. What are you looking forward to, Jan? That's quite a stacked accounting sector event. We've not even talked about the fact that QuickBooks is in there in March as well, in Woolwich. I imagine Free Agent's going to be on some sort of
their roadshows.
Yeah, roadshow. Sage will be doing a roadshow.
Yep. And Tax Calc are looking at what we're going to be doing with Tax Calc and Engager. Do we take Fusion on the road type thing? Add to that things like SEMA, IFA conference, etc. It's going to be a busy year. It's going to be a very, very busy year. So yeah, I'm looking forward to all the events. As we all know, especially after last week, Accountex London holds a special place in both of our hearts. And it's a fantastic event with lots of big moments historically for us as a network. So yeah, that'll probably be the highlight of the year. But I don't think there's any events that I'm not looking forward to. Like, there's no events where I go, oh God. I might have said differently if Daz wasn't moving. Like, whether Daz needs to be at the Excel or not, different matter. But I'm pleased it's not over at Battersby anymore. That was just a pain in the backside to get to, and there was no real quick accommodation to get to it or anything. So, yeah, there's not one event that I don't want to go to this year. So, I'm grateful that the position I'm in is that Tax Calc and Engager will be going to most events this year. So I've got a meeting this week to finalize all of our events and stuff. So I get to go to these things, and I appreciate a lot of people got to make some choices between which events they can and can't go to through financial, time, etc., family commitments, and so on. But yeah, Accountex London is just phenomenal. If you're not into bigger crowds, then do Accountex Manchester. But yeah, they're all good events in their own rights, and they're all different and unique. So worthwhile attending as many as you can.
Yeah, but for me, I think 2026 is going to be an important year for Fab. Do we call it Fab now? Is that now they've changed their name? I feel like it launched with its whole identity, didn't it? Where it was like, right, we're this festival idea where we've got these different stages, and it just had some USP about it, right? And look, they know the numbers more than we do. It felt like the next year, then it built on that, and it built on it in numbers, but I don't think it built it on identity. If anything, I felt like it took a step back from identity point of view. It was almost like it
almost lost its USP.
Yeah, and maybe it was a case of, we went too far down that festival because they've dropped the festival element, right? So there's definitely something there about them making a change on that, and it's obviously, there's a reason behind it, and they know more than we do in terms of it. Still a much better event in my eyes than, what did they call it beforehand? It was the Accounting Web Summit, was it?
Yeah, the Accounting Web Summit, or whatever it was before, pre-COVID, that wasn't it? But yeah. But you and I felt they had something with the festival part of it. If the feedback's come in saying no, you haven't, then fair enough. Let's see what the finance, accounting, and bookkeeping show brings.
But for someone like us, like, having an identity like that makes it easy for us to talk about, right? And easy for us to promote for them, and easier for us to get people excited about. Has Fab got that element of excitement about it? That's what we need to kind of see, because I love the bookkeeping focusness of it. I think that's brilliant. I think the location's good as well. It's it's different to the rest of them. It's not London. It's not Excel. That's a big tick in a lot of people's mind. I feel like this is a really important year for it to try and figure out its identity, what it brings to the table, why is it? It's because at the moment, is it just the first quote unquote proper show, or is it the start of the season sort of thing, or is there something else to it? And we can see on that. I mean, alternative accountancy, is that something we should be looking more into? Like, we've never been there, and I think. Have you got a chance to go there with Tax Calc this year? Is that something that's on your radar?
I don't know. I'd need to have a look.
That's always something we never really looked at, right? We never really.
Yeah, there's a very long list of events pinned up on the Tax Calc office wall, on the whiteboard in there. I cannot memorize them all, so I'm not sure whether we'll be at that one or not. But yeah, it's one of those events that are picking up pace again, and it's Zoe's doing a great job with them, so it'd be interesting to see where they get to in 2026.
Yeah, 100%. And then DAS is going to be a very interesting year for them, right? Like, they've made that big jump. They've gone from quirky events, which added to it. Like, for me, especially the London stadium, so Tottenham Stadium, that was. Oh, no, not London Stadium, is it? It's not. That's West Ham. But the Tottenham Stadium, the White Hart Lane, New White Hart Lane, whatever they're calling it, that was such a cool event space, right? And it's something completely unique and completely different. Yeah, they outgrew it, and we understand why they weren't there for the following years. But that was such a that added to that event, right? And that really elevated it in my eyes. Same with Battersea. Yeah, it wasn't the great location, as in trying to get there and back, but the event itself was wonderful, right?
The venue was fantastic.
Yeah, exactly. And my fear for DAS is Excel going to take away that uniqueness, that coolness, that wowness, right? If it's quote unquote just Excel, does it still have that? Like, I really like the fact that ZeroCon's now in London Olympia. I think that's because they've built this whole new purpose event in Olympia that none of us have been to yet, right? Like I think it launches this year. For me, that's where Daz should have gone, is somewhere like that, right? Somewhere new, somewhere innovative, something like that. So it's going to be really interesting, I think, on that front. Like, is Excel going to be the right place? We'll see. And I think we got told it with Accountex Manchester, they're looking to expand the floor space for that. So yeah, we'll see how that goes. And again, Accountex London, there's whole new conference within a conference going to be there, so we'll get to see how that works out. All right, Account Network, the ASCII Accounting Network in 2026. What are you looking forward to from the network, Johann?
Obviously we've launched Patreon now, which is great. It'd be great to see how that goes. Just looking forward to building that community further, and it's building a community, something I've spent a lot of time doing in Engager. So to be able to bring that to Ask the Accountant, I'm excited to see what that comes to. Grid walks, just getting out there, doing the grid walks again. It's always a highlight of any event, is getting in early and going for a wander around, seeing what's happening, finding out what's new, hearing the rumors and stuff like that. I will cross episode 200 this year, so another big landmark for us. What about yourself?
Yeah, I think we need to keep on the momentum of the grid walks. I feel like freshen them up was definitely a good thing. It doesn't have to be me and you, right? Like, I think that's the beauty we found out. Like, we don't have to. It doesn't have to be like bringing in someone new or someone local or an expert in that particular event actually worked really, really well. Just adds that extra bit to it, doesn't it? Where they can go off and that's what we always wanted from the network. It doesn't have to be just me and you going around and doing it.
If you look at the inspiration that was Martin Brundle on the F1 track in the last year, he's done less and other people have done more. So, we can keep coming back and doing it like the classic style, but we can also, we've tested and it works like it does for Martin, to bring in other people to do the grid walks at certain events.
Yeah. And maybe split it. Like Accountex London is such a big event, right? Maybe it is a case of Team A goes out on one, like me and you go on one day, Team B goes out on the other day. Do you know what I mean? Like, we've got that opportunity, and I think I'm excited to see how that goes, because out of all the formats we do, the grid walk's my favorite format in terms of I just feel like this is our chance to take it to that next level. So I'm excited to see where that's going to be. As you mentioned, the Patreon community, I think there's a lot of opportunity there for us to massage that, bring that in, and start seeing the rewards from there. And the new shows we've got lined up. So Sage Savvy, we've released the pilot. We've got the opportunity to kind of take that on. We've got some really good ideas of where we want to take that. We're still playing around with a zero dedicated podcast to kind of bring that in. There's a potential for a free agent one still there. And then I have been toying with the idea of, is there one we can start doing aimed at small businesses, like taking topics on and go through from there. So I feel like there's enough there, and we've got now the network, right? So there's enough people there to lean on, and it's not just me and you that have to come up with these ideas now. We've got a whole network. Yeah. But I feel like that's where I'm excited for it. And on the event space, the fact that we're definitely going to Fab, that's been there, and we're going to be really, really pushing that idea of celebrating podcasts from there. We're going to Accountex London, and we're in a different spot than we've normally been. We're actually moved from our location to another, so that's going to be exciting. We're excited for that. We want to try and at least do the grid walk at Daz, because it's going to be a different event, right? Like, there's enough excitement, I think, about those sort of ones there. So looking forward to that. And let's finish then on our firms in 2026. Go on, Jan. What's on point accounting look like in 2026 to you?
Who knows? Let's see what happens. No, so we are pivoting gradually to do a lot more financial due diligence work and dealing with larger customers while still having a team that look after the smaller clients. But we're still constantly reviewing our tech stack and keeping an eye on that. Do we have any more acquisitions? Who knows? I mean, I got approached unexpectedly before Christmas. There wasn't a deal to be done in that case. Like, I probably speak to like someone every couple of months approaches me saying, "Would you look at buying my business?" You know, as the listeners will know, that very, very rarely do I say yes. You know, we've only done 4 deals in 5 years, so yeah, the deal's got to work for both sides of the party, and quite often it doesn't. So we'll see. You know me, I don't do goals. I don't have objectives for the year or anything like that. I find if you do, you can become blinkered to opportunities. Like, I didn't set out with the goal of joining Engager or Client Engager back at the time, and being a part of a leading team of developing a practice management tool. So I could, if I'd set too many goals and I was too strict with myself, I could quite have easily have gone, "Sorry, Andy, that doesn't fit into my year-long 5-year plan," and I'd have missed out on a huge opportunity. So yeah, I very much keep it very fluid and kind of go, "No, let's see what happens." Like, we've got some directions, we've got our core values. That's our goal is to deliver our core values as a firm, which are all team focused, really. So yeah, we'll see what 2026 has got in store for us. Just take it a step at a time. How about yourself?
Well, just on point, I feel like this is your year of really like cementing that tax calc and engager relationship, right? Like, one of the unique aspects of engager is always that it's like run by actual accountancy practices, isn't it? Like,
Yeah.
the best thing you can do is go, "I'm struggling to grow because of XYZ. Like, I'm struggling to, this pain point is absolutely stunting our growth and stunting us getting to the next level," right? And you're in the unique position where you can go, "Right, well, like, this is how we fix it, but then let's test it. Let's make it work. Let's understand it. Let's figure it out. And I feel like that's where this year, because now it's out in the open, it's all there. That this is the year where you can really start using. You're already a tax calc practice, right? You're already you're already there. You're already part and parcel of that, right? So if you're already a tax calc practice and now you're an engager, also an engager practice, so you can see how that synergy goes. So I think that'll be excellent for On Point going forward, right? For me, this is a huge year. Completely rebranding in terms of what like my main focus on. So now there's a new brand, AAG, which is designed to be accountants advisory group, which is called, which is supposed to be the kind of top part of what my whole brand is all related to. So AAG holds the QuickBooks chap, it holds Boffix, it holds the new practice, which I can't say what the new practice is yet, but has Asset Accountant under it. It has Elevate Media, our new social media solution. So for me, my focus this year is, how do I make AAG actually make sense? Like, it's all well and good having all these brands and having everything all there, but how do you make it so, from a funnel point of view, if someone is interested in working with any of those brands I've just spoke about, how do they funnel down through AAG into the right area? So I think that's going to be a huge like change in my mindset going forward. Like, it's not the QuickBooks chap, it's not Aaron Patrick anymore, it is AAG. And how do we kind of get that to be a new focus going forward? I think that's going to be really interesting to see, and I think really important. If I mess that up, I think the rest of the brands just become obsolete, right? Like, it becomes really difficult to achieve. So and I think there's a lot of tech there that can help, but more than anything, this is going to be about brand awareness and brand building and figuring that out. So fingers crossed I've got enough clout behind me in terms of the QuickBooks chap and Boffix and all the other brands that we've already got. Hopefully they're all there and I can build them in and build it from there. So I think 2026 for me is a make or break year in terms of what comes next and how that goes. So interesting times ahead. But what's your opinion on AAG? Do you think it's got a ring to it or not?
I think it'll be a complete success, like everything else you've done has been. So yeah, I'm pleased you've finally gone down the route of acquiring a practice. I wish you every luck because it's not easy. You've had a very long process to get to this point. But yeah, it's a very different leadership and management style set required and skill set required than growing organically. So
Yeah, I
yeah.
don't know how you've done 4 in 5 years. I must completely honest, but that's where your hair's gone.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's definitely weird. But AAG, I don't know. Yeah, have we got that right? Is that going to be right? Is it the right name? Is it the right? You know what I mean? Like all of those questions are going through my head at the moment.
Yeah.
But we will see. Well, only time will tell. But I do feel like that's got to be somehow, some way, the focal point going forward, and it's got to be that. That's the area that when they see any content I do and they see any push that I make or anything like that going forward, it's got to go AAG first and then kind of flow way down. So we shall see. Not that ICAW are going to be happy about it, but they've got to be on board as well. So that'll be fun, won't it? Trying to get them to figure it out. Right. Awesome. Oh, a quick question here because I know we're just over time, but morning both. Are you still using the Plod device? Any new gadgets you'd recommend for 2026? Says RR Accountant. Well, you did talk about Plod device last week, so maybe go and re-listen to last week's thing. But is there anything from that company that you've heard of or anything else, or have they not announced anything yet?
They've not announced anything. I'm not expecting anything. There's a lot of talk by HiDoc, which is one of the Plord competitors, about a AI recording pen. So if you're kind of a note taker but you want to capture the whole meeting, it'll be there. See what happens there. But yeah, for me, the Plord system works fine how it is. Like, yes, there's always lots of upgrades I'd love them to do to the software and the processing and stuff. But for now, it's great how it is for me. So yeah, use it all day, every day. I think it recorded over 500 hours worth of meetings and calls for me last year.
I love that. I mean, you've gone down this sleek, and I think this is my recording device. Like how big it is. So and there's even a camera attachment to go on top as well to do that as well. So we're going about it a different way, a different approach. I think pluses and minuses for each one, but if there's a way we can kind of find that middle ground, I feel like that's the sweet spot, right? I feel like the device I'm using way too big, and I'm just gonna have to accept it. The device you've got really nice, sleek and thing, but then does it really capture that whole, being in a room scenario, multiple people, all that sort of stuff? That's where, it'll be interesting to see. Maybe that's where these devices are going to go down to next. So great question there, R. Captain. Thank you very much. And with that, that is the end of today's show. Kirsty says, I liked him at ICB. He knew more of those people and it gave a good insight. Yeah, I think it was a nice experiment, and I think it paid off. Sue Green says, I have recently moved to Apple. It was a little traumatic for me for the first 2 weeks. Thank God I had support with Apple and not my company too. Yeah, definitely. Awesome. All right, everyone, thank you so much for your support, etc. And we will see you all this time next week. Any final things from you, Jan?
No, just happy new year to all of our listeners and viewers, and let's see what 2026 has got in store for everybody.
Definitely. Happy New Year to all. And we'll see you this time, same place, next week for an exciting episode of Ask the Accountant. Bye for now.
Bye-bye.